I come in peace. I just was in here messing with the setup for mad long. Couldn't get it right. I don't know what was happening, man. Something I don't know. I mean, obviously it's user error, but still, I don't know what's going on. Uh, welcome to the show. I came. Oh, hold up, hold up. Trying to. Oh, like scooting up to the table when you're hungry, you can't get comfortable. Man, welcome to the show, man. I got some stuff actually today. Just some stuff I'm wondering about. So the main thing is listen. Sorry, I was not making. I was. I saw what's cracking, Gabby. You know what? I'm glad there's at least somebody in here because we're starting off. This first topic I feel like is pretty crazy. So I posted this clip on my IG today. And actually, let me find it because I'll play it for you. The video is basically, hold up, who was commenting on this shit? We got a situation where it was like a podcast or something. These people were having a conversation, and I guess it was something to the effect of the young lady on the show. I just assume everybody's younger than me because I'm old. But the young lady on the show was talking about how, and I guess they were all talking about, there's other men in the room, but they're all talking about how, like, if you ask a girl out on a date, right, and she has kids, should it be her responsibility to line up the babysitter? And Shorty said no. She says, this is the first date, too. This is the first date. She says that the new guy trying to pursue her should figure all that out. I mean, maybe just cover the cost or whatever the case may be. I feel like the clip is very short, so you don't really hear a lot of perspectives from everybody in the room. But the vibe just felt like all the men in there were like, no, fuck that. That's not going to happen. Let me play this real quick. Hold on, make sure the sound on, Cuddy. Go back to the days of the speaker. That way I can make sure y'all hear it. My phone be acting funny. Yes, that motherfucker has lights too. Let me set the mood right. Anyway, let's play this real quick.
Well, it was like, if would take me out, he got to pay for my babysitter. Why should my baby daddy and me got to pay for my babysitter when you the one that would take me out?
I'm not going to ask a to pay for my babysitter. I'm expecting you to know to do that for me. Mm-hmm. So if I notice that you didn't think to do something.
Now, that's not the full clip, but I wanted to just give you a piece. Hold on. I want to make sure I find out what this is from. This was from some podcast. And so I don't know what the name of it is, but it looked like it was the Daily Wrap-Up Crew. That's what the TikTok account is. They're out of Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, Daily Wrap-Up Crew. Shout out to them. This is actually a really good podcast or show. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I also like the fact that Shorty was not afraid to stand up and be like, I feel like the nigga should pay to cover the cost of the babysitter. I want to give you my take. I actually have been somebody who I've dated women who have kids, and I have also offered to cover the cost or help find care if need be for a date. But I probably would feel some type of way if the lady I was planning to pursue off top was already expecting that I covered the cost of the babysitter for her kids. Now, also in this little podcast, they talked about the other parent being available. Now, I know a lot of women that I have talked to, what they have done, they have care set up, for things like this. When they want to go do something, they try to plan it around maybe, having the father take the kids or a family member. Most people I feel like that I have dealt with have had that set up for themselves. Now, but not everybody has that, and that's understandable. There are a lot of women out here who really do this by themselves. They do not have help, and they're not finna waste time with a nigga who's not, understanding of that and, kind of hip to what's going on when people are raising children. You don't really it's not really a lost or not thing, Gabby. It's just a simple, does a nigga have to pay to cover the cost of the babysitter on the first date? And should that be an expectation? The woman said yes. The guys in the room said no. This has nothing to do with people being married or nothing like that. Gabby said, when I started dating, I didn't ask mom. I waited until they went to see their dad. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I brought up the fact that a lot of women try to plan their free time around the availability of a babysitter, which actually seems like the smart move. I'm not going to assume that the lady on this podcast where the clip came from was implying or stating, that she's just expecting it and that she's not at least putting forth the effort to lock down a babysitter. I think it can be something that maybe we team up on, but I don't know if a woman should ever expect a man to just like you can't, I don't think you can be mad at him if he doesn't offer up to pay for your babysitter on your first date. Because I don't know if niggas are really thinking about that. And should they? I don't know. Maybe they should be mindful, but at the same time, like, most women, I assume, are probably not going to have the dude meet their kid or children on the first date. So why would you expect him to pay to cover the cost of like their meals or like babysitter? Like you're not expecting buddy on date one to take them to the mall to buy them new school clothes, right? Like, doesn't that seem equally as crazy as just expecting that when a man asks you out on the first date, that he's not only going to take you out on the date, but he's going to do everything he can to make sure you have the babysitter? And plus, if you were expecting a stranger to find care for your child, can you actually be trusted with your kids? Because in that moment, you're relying on a stranger to take care of your children. No, you're relying on a stranger to find another stranger to take care of your children. And that person who's asking you out don't know your family. So are you expecting him to like make all the connecting calls and be like, hey, is this Jocelyn's older brother, Steve? Hey, Steve, can you watch the kids tonight, bro? I know you don't know me, but this Malik, I'm trying to take your sister out. That's not a conversation that's being had, okay? That shit seems weird. Sitters in your area, and they could potentially come back and help, but that would mean meeting a person prior to the date. I guess parents couldn't watch Zoe on our first date, so we brought her. Exactly. If that's not an option for a sitter, bring your child, have a kid-friendly date, and it's lit. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But it's all up to your level of comfort. I'm somebody that I work with kids all the time, within my profession, and people know me, whatever. But I don't feel like even me, like, I would find it weird if a lady was like, you got to find the childcare. I'd be like, lady, you just trust me to do that for you? You don't even know me. What if I was crazy? What if I was bad with kids? Because some people are just bad with kids. We went over that on the show last night. Shout out to Steph and Gab for coming through in the chat and putting up their personal stories. But we talked about a corny ass Negro last night in regards to how he manages his kids. Those are his kids, and he don't do a good job. Would you really be wanting a stranger to help you find another stranger to watch your kid? That just seems crazy to me. So overall, ladies, if you're expecting the man pursuing you on your first date to also line up your child care, I think that's crazy. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. What is this show called again? It's called Daily Wrap-Up Crew, Brooklyn, New York. If y'all get a chance, check out their podcast, man. I just literally saw this clip on TikTok, and I was like, oh, this is good show material. We got to talk about this because this seemed like some weirdo shit. They could end up raped by that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, anything can happen, bro. You can't really just be trusting any and everybody with your kids, bro. It's just what it is. So, like, demanding that a stranger hook that up for you, that's crazy talk. Okay. Next topic. And also, feel free to comment. We can always revisit this later in the show. I'm not mad at it. We slide over to sports just for a brief moment. Not so much anymore because I don't really keep up with like the new coaches that get cycled in. But when I played sports when I was young, I wanted to attend certain schools and there were certain coaches, that you kind of just needed to know about if you plan to participate in this sport. So over the years, I got to have a better understanding of who coached what team, whether it be college, pro, whatever. So Marty Schottenheimer was a favorite coach of mine. His son still coaches in the NFL, but Marty was a really great coach. Yesterday, he passed away at the age of 77. They had to move him to hospice last week, and Marty had a lot of medical conditions, wasn't doing well, but it's pretty crazy, man. And Marty's last NFL coaching job, Buddy what did he go? He went 14-2 on the season or 14-1. And they lost in the first round of the playoffs, and the Chargers fired him. And that was something I never could get over because it always kind of showed me that, listen, you can do right by these people forever, and they'll still let you go, even when you do well. And it wasn't his fault that the team choked. I mean, maybe it was. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what led them to lose in that first playoff game. Obviously, they just did not play well. But it was crazy to me because Marty's a legend, bro, a football legend. And they just were like, nah, fam, you out of here. You ain't win this playoff game. Go ahead and get out. Chargers haven't been good since then. And I know they have Phillip Rivers for mad long, but that's my point. They have not been good since then. So, moment of silence for Marty. All right. So obviously it was cracking in Florida on Sunday. And now I feel like from here in Seattle, Washington, I can smell the COVID on those. The parade was crazy. I get it. Y'all are excited. Y'all don't win a lot. There's not a lot to brag about in Tampa when it comes to sports. And that's not disrespect. It's just fact. USF, trash. The Bucks, low-key, have been trash. They don't really have a basketball team. The Tampa Bay Lightning, I low-key feel like they won the Stanley Cup recently, though. So I'm not going to say they're trash because I can't confirm or deny whether or not that's true. I just have this gut feeling that I feel like they won recently, but that they had been trash. Lydia, I'll get to your comment in a second. But you can smell the COVID on these people because they were out there celebrating, and it's fine. Do your thing. But, like, you mean to tell me it's been a whole year and you're not even the slightest bit concerned? I know a lot of y'all are not big believers in the mask thing. I understand that. But at the same time, if you know that it can keep you protected and maybe extend some of your days a bit, and I'm just talking about, like, who really enjoys being sick or even having symptoms of being sick? We hate that. I get a stuffy nose in the apartment just because, I was in here yapping damn much. I'm like, oh my God, I hate this. I gotta turn the damn humidifier on. I gotta open all the fucking windows, turn the fan on in the bathroom, and I gotta get my ass outside. That way I can just breathe. And I also, one time, I had a short addiction to nasal spray. I refuse to go back to that. I won't let the drugs get me. And I know people really suffer, but that was a real deal. I've told people about that. I literally couldn't get off of it because I needed to fucking breathe. I hated it. But anyway, why not? You want to party? Go party. Just wear your fucking mask. Like I said, I know there are people who follow this show, and they will probably hate the fact that I'm on here telling them that. I'm telling you like this, if at this point you're still bugged out by having to wear it, you are corny to me. And I'm only saying that because it really isn't that serious. They're not asking you to wear like a full apparatus or not. Like, it's just a piece of cloth, Cuddy. Like, in the same way you wear a fucking hat on your head, you wear earrings in your ears, you wear chains on your neck, you wear gloves on your hands when it's cold. This is just another thing like that. And some of y'all really be going crazy still over having to wear your mask in a place you opted to go to. And this ain't about, like I said, we're not going to get crazy about the mask and stuff. Maddox and Hera. Deuces. Enjoy your sleep, kiddos. Uncle Nick signing out. Anyway, shout out to my niece and nephew. But listen, just wear your fucking mask. It's not that serious. Now, like I said, their cases are probably going to spike, of course. A lot of these people are going to be like, it doesn't matter, but think about the repercussions you can have. Because listen, if y'all have old people in your family and their immune system is compromised, like y'all can't really be all shocked when this stuff don't really be working out for you the way you was hoping it would. And I don't even really say that with no disrespect, because I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like I talked about this on the show, a lady who helped raise me growing up at the gym I used to hoop at after school in high school, she died from COVID. Just like 2 months back, bro. And word was that she was doing everything she could to protect herself, but you just don't know, man. And that's just a bummer. Man, Miss Dolores, I miss you, shorty. She used to feed me and shit, make me lunches, get me hyped up before I go play basketball and stuff like that. Always tell me that I was going to be great. Damn, if you could see me now, I'm lit. But still, I don't know what was going on, but I'd like to think that if people, just all of the people, just in general, were just like this much more responsible, you probably could cut some of these deaths down in half and just delay them. Because obviously death is inevitable, but you're just delaying it. Why speed up the process if you don't have to? You know what I'm saying? Don't rock the boat, man. Just wear your fucking mask. Okay. Let's slide back to sports. Actually, first, before we do that, let's go to Lydia's comment. Lydia said, I don't think first dates. Why is dates on there twice? First date dates. Got it. Should be meeting the children at all unless the relationship is going serious. No, under no circumstances should your brand new date for the very first time ever meet your kids on the first day, unless there's some emergency or you didn't have coverage for a babysitter, like in the chat. But at the same time, Gabby's scenario worked out in her favor, Cuddy. That's not happening for everybody. I'm sorry. I've actually had girls be like, hey, I know it's kind of soon, but you can meet my kids. And I'm like, sure, this ain't going to work out for me. I don't trust your judgment. And I know that sounds crazy, but bitch, you don't know me. No, you do not want to put your kids around me. I've heard the horror stories. I've trained people on how to manage kids. We have to tell them about abuse and about grooming and about how some of these people are crazy and about how most times when children are abused in the home is by a family member or somebody who is close to the family. And then sometimes it is a complete stranger. And all it's going to take is for that person to get access to your kid, and then they can do whatever they want when you're not looking and not paying attention. So if you're brainless enough to want me to meet your kid on the first date, I don't know if I would trust you. That's just for me. I'm not saying that for anybody else. That's only for me because, again, I've heard the horror stories. I've had to train people in this field, and I have also had to call child services on people, staff, family members, the whole shebang bang, because I've seen the behavior, and it's creepy. So, no, I don't want to meet your kids on the first date. And if you ask me that shit, we're not going to work out long term. Because then imagine we have kids or something like that. You're going to just be letting all types of motherfuckers hold my baby and all that type of shit when I'm not around. Nah, Cuddy, I'm not with that. I'm sorry, but some of y'all just be doing too much trying to get niggas to want to be with your kids on the first day. But I'll say this. I will say this. I do think the level of comfort can vary between people. Some people might really just genuinely be like, this vibe feels good to me, and they're trusting their gut, and that is important too. I will say I trusted my gut in that moment, because when I was like, yo, are you sure about that? She said, yeah, no big deal. That is where you lost me. I think if she would have questioned it in the moment, I might have been like, okay, well, you're questioning it and I'm questioning it, but let me give you my credentials so you understand. I need to let you know what I'm expecting of you, because this is kind of a weird situation. We didn't get that far because she said it was no big deal. But that to me implies that the safety of your children is not a big deal. So that's why I said you're brainless. Okay, let's slide back over to sports. Let me get the article though, because this is crazy. We talked about, I don't know if I talked about Malik Beasley on this show. Malik Beasley is an NBA basketball player. I think he's like 24 years old or some shit like that. He's a young boy. Tell me why, like 2 months ago, Cuddy was seen walking through the airport holding Larissa Pippen's hand. Everybody made a big deal about that because, you know, I guess Larissa does her thing as an adult. I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna sound like I'm shaming her. Cause you know what, shorty? If you want to be out here getting with all these niggas, do your thing. You want to know why? Because men do that shit all the time. Don't let anybody shame you into thinking that you're trash or you're nasty because you have the ability to pull niggas, okay? Don't think for a second that we on here shaming. Larissa's out here pimping these NBA niggas because they're weak and she has that in her bag. So we seen that. And everybody's like, yo, Malik, you're wilding because Malik's like 3 years older than Larissa's son. Larissa has a son with Scottie Pippen. And then there's a whole thing with Future. And then there's a thing with, there's a whole thing with a bunch of things and a bunch of people. But Malik Beasley's back in the news because I forgot about this. Buddy is in the hot seat right now and is going to have to spend about 120 days on home confinement or some shit like that because he pulled an assault rifle on a family outside of his house. What do you even really say to that? Like, what do you actually say to that? That just seems crazy to me, bro. Like, and not necessarily the fact that you pulled an assault rifle on somebody, but the fact that, like, bro, you're like in the middle of your basketball season. How are you planning to do this? Probably the same way that KCP did it. I know KCP, his first year in LA, I think he was only allowed to play home games for like a stretch of like 25 or 26 games because he was on house arrest, basically. Couldn't leave the area, so he couldn't travel with the team, can't participate, can't do any of that type of shit. So I think that's probably what Malik's setup is going to be. But at the same time, who really want to take chances on you, young man, when you keep ending up in the public under unfortunate circumstances? You're bringing bad vibes to your name, to your job. People not really going to want to fool with that after a while. Now, he is a good player, but is he good enough to kind of overcome this type of stuff? I really don't know, man. I hope for his sake that he does. But 120 days home confinement for pulling an assault rifle on somebody, Malik, what are you doing, buddy? You are wilding. It's not that serious. Really not that serious. But y'all should check that out, man. And check out Larissa, too. She's tough. She's real tough. Sorry. Anyway, my last thing, and then I'm ghost, man, because we not finna be in here all night. Listen, I'm flipping back between 2 different IGs, you know. I got these stories saved everywhere. Okay, so I want to start by saying I did not want to spend a ton of time diving into the details of this because this story, when I initially heard it, felt very, very something to me. Here's a statement from Gorilla Glue. We are very sorry to hear about the unfortunate incident. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. That Miss Brown experienced using our spray adhesive on her hair. We are glad to see her in a recent video. Miss Brown has received medical treatment from her local medical facility, and we wish her the best. I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but apparently Shorty was not feeling the adhesive that she was using for her hair and decided to up her game and use Gorilla Glue. Now, for any of you that are new to what freaking Gorilla Glue is, It's not Elmer's, dog. This is not the stuff you used to use when you're doing art class projects in the 3rd grade. It's not none of that. This is serious glue, like meaning like we want to re-glue something together and we want to try to use it for the next 10 to 15 business years, okay? That's the type of glue this is. Shorty used this on her hair and her skin now. Oh my God. The pictures of this look crazy because it doesn't look real. Her whole entire head is covered with glue. She had to go to the hospital to receive medical treatment, which is very unfortunate. And apparently she's thinking about suing the Gorilla Glue company because she feels like they misled her. And that's where I'm confused, because how can it be misleading if when you go down the aisle of the store and Gorilla Glue is like hardware, not hair products? So how could you have been misled if this stuff's not even on the shelf next to the other hair products that you potentially use? You didn't go buy Gorilla Glue from Sally's, bro. And I actually saw a black lawyer. I honestly could not believe this. I hope I saved it. Did I save that shit? God, please tell me I saved it. Gorilla Glue. Hair is not skin. Your product failed to adequately warn. Knowing hair glue in fact exists and many black women use hair glue as hair adhesive, and for this, your company is liable. You should have given her a sponsorship deal. Instead, you will be held accountable. Bro, this stuff is not for your fucking hair. What is wrong with y'all? And then you had to say you should have given her a sponsorship deal. Why? Because she made a mistake on her own doing. So now we owe her something? What job or what situation have you ever been where you're rewarded for not doing the right thing? That don't be happening, bro. Let's check the chat. Yeah, it's for wood and thick plastic. It's for heavy duty items. Like, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not worth it, bro. So again, the company didn't mislead her because their product is not being sold next to other hair care products. It's in the hardware section, Cuddy. You find this shit at Lowe's and like places like that. You're not getting this at the freaking Safeway. I don't know, maybe sometimes they have products like that, but it's not next to the hair care. That's my point. I don't understand why. And like I said, like the internet comes running to her defense where they're like, oh my God. And yeah, this is a horrific incident. She's probably going to have to go bald, maybe have surgeries, all these types of things to get the adhesive off of her skin without it tearing because the shit is that strong. She had to cut her ponytail off, and she also covered herself in this glue. Like that right there, if I'm in charge of handing out sponsorship deals, I'm like, I don't think you can manage this responsibly. And how do I know that? Because you just put Gorilla Glue all over your head. This is not meant for that. Liddy, I don't think it's a self-hate thing. This is just a simple case of the adhesive that I once used didn't work. This is also an adhesive, and I'm going to use it without actually reading the label where it probably says, please don't put this or apply to skin. It usually says stuff like that. Matter of fact, let's Google it. I want to see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm willing to bet Gorilla Glue warning label. Oh, did I click the wrong thing? No, I don't want the story. I want the warning label, Cuddy. So, give me the warning label. I don't care about their statement because we want to find out. Because a lot of these products say stuff like, do not apply to skin. Okay, here we go. There are two symbols, and they literally says danger. And the first thing is causes skin irritation, may cause an allergic skin reaction, causes eye irritation, probably ears too. Harmful if inhaled. This is very fine print, and I don't have my glasses on. Dog, y'all are crazy as shit. Talking about she deserve a sponsorship deal. Boy, oh my God. And the person who said that was a lawyer? Come on, man. Get out of here with that. Y'all, look, y'all are okay with making grave mistakes, and then you're like, oh, well, this is an opportunity where they should just become rich and famous now. Like, no, man. Get the F out of here with that. Lydia said women feel that way or feel that they have to look a certain way, that they always got to be on point. I think she took it too far. Yeah, I'm not really touching that because I'm not going to tell her that she shouldn't try to go out of her way to look good. That's lit. Do your thing, shorty. Like, but be smarter about your hair care products. That's my point. For me, this is just, it has nothing to do with any of that other stuff. I don't think she hates herself, or I think this is just like, I made a mistake thinking I could use something that I couldn't. And you should have just done your homework a little bit more. You should have been alarmed by the fact that I know you did not purchase that product in the hair care section. We know that. You literally got this from the hardware part. And I'm willing to bet she probably asked, like, yo, can I use this on my hair? And I bet people were like, nah, don't do it. And then she probably did it anyway because she's tired of the adhesive that she had wasn't working. And you played yourself. That's what happened. So no, I'm not gonna feel bad. I'm not laughing at her and making fun of her. You just have to do better. You should have thought about this a little bit more. And I understand you. People get impatient. This is like the same time. Look, listen, when I was young, I didn't have a car. I didn't drive, none of that. I needed to get to a haircut. Pops wouldn't take me. I tried to do it myself. There was a couple of times where I was looking like Blade. And I had messed up my whole lineup, all because I was impatient and I just wanted my haircut and I wanted to do it myself, but I wasn't qualified to do that. And it turned out really bad for me, and that was very embarrassing. There was also a time in middle school where I had my friend Jonathan Bedford shave my head with a razor. And you know what happened? I went to school the next day and for the next several weeks with looking like the land of 1,000 cuts. All right? So I don't have a ton of sympathy for Shorty because she didn't do her homework. And you make stupid mistakes. Or, listen, what does they say? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You had that coming. Do more research, Cuddy. Yeah, there is no stigma. There's no judgment. None of that shit, man. Read the label. It literally tells you it causes skin irritation. That's enough for me. I don't want this on my skin if it's going to irritate it. I don't know. Listen, some of y'all be thinking that you made out of Teflon or something. I don't know, bro, but this was a bad move on your part. So no sponsorship deal. We're not sending roses. We're not doing none of that. I'm glad that she got it taken care of, and you're going to have to regroup. If anybody should give her a deal, it should be a wig company. Y'all need to set her up with the flyest wig so she can go out and look great and do her thing until her stuff grow back. But anything outside of that, like why would Gorilla Glue give her a sponsorship deal? And what's that ad gonna look like? Are they gonna have her reenact the moment where she put all that adhesive on her head and then they're gonna go, that's not what you do with our product. Gorilla Glue in stores near you, Walgreens, Walmart, and wherever else they sell that shit, but not near the hair care products, man. Listen, this has been Meaningful Jackson Productions presents Starters on the Bench podcast, aka Lunchtime TV. I'm out of here. Thank you for being in the chat, ladies, and I will see you later. Do not use Gorilla Glue on your head, please.